All right, good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for sticking with us today. I know it's been a long day for most of us, but I really hope that you find this event interesting and, more importantly, entertaining. So, for today, we'll talk all about Gen AI and, more importantly, about agent AI, how agent can help you supercharge and transform your enterprise with the help of intelligent models. So I will be here today presenting with His Excellency Saleh that will join me on stage in a few minutes. And as for me, my name is Paul, and I'm the Senior AI ML Specialist Solutions Architect for the MENAT region. So for today's agenda, we'll start and kick off things with a very quick introduction about agentic AI. We'll focus about the evolution of agentic AI from the very early inception to what we aim to go for a fully realized world around agent AI. Then we will leave the floor and we'll leave the ground to DGE to talk about their vision and their mission to transform Abu Dhabi government into an AI-first government. And then we'll talk about the solution that birthed out from this mission, which is the agentic solutions architect assistant for cloud migration. So, and then we'll close this presentation about AWS services and how AWS helped power such a solution. All right. So a very quick description of the evolving timeline about agentic AI. So at its early stages, Gen AI was all about language understanding and following and understanding a certain set of rules. So from that time, you had solutions that came out, such as, for instance, RAG, Retrieval Augmented Generations, and also a certain set of frameworks, such as LangChain, that were used to chain a certain set of instructions in order to complete a certain deterministic flow. But slowly, we started to move about something a little bit more autonomous, a little bit less hands-on, such as, for instance, agentic AI. So with generative AI agents, you have the ability to automate and orchestrate a certain set of complex multi-step tasks and complex workflow. But now we are tending to move towards a more fully realized agentic world, where all the agents will be able to collaborate between each other and constitute a more complex system in order to achieve decision and goals, but not only just workflow or simple tasks. So now let's go a little bit more into the fundamentals. So what is an agent? Who in the audience has never heard about what is an agent? Right. Oh, just a few. So let's go about this definition. So in the industry, and all the different actors in the field may have different variation and different, let's say, definition of what is an agent. But most of us agrees on the same principle. As for AWS, we define about what is an agent as an autonomous software that leverage AI in order to reason, plan, and complete actions on behalf of humans. It is more complex systems, and what makes agents so powerful is this ability to think iteratively. So, for instance, an agent has the ability to design a plan in order to process or to execute complex workflow. But more importantly, it has the ability to evaluate, look at the results, intermediary results, and think about what is the next action. And more importantly, course correct if necessary. And now, to understand why we reached such a tipping point in terms of agentic adoptions for enterprise, it is important to understand that all of this is powered by technology, and most of it is also thanks to the development of more performant models and more smarter models, such as, for instance, what we call reasoning models or thinking models in the likes of DeepSeek R1 or, for instance, Anthropic Claude Sonnet 3.7. So those models are not only understanding models, but they have also the ability to think and to resonate. There is also a cost efficiency factor that helps to increase the adoption, where the performance of the models has increased significantly, and not necessarily in a linear fashion compared to, for instance, the model size. We tend to go, for instance, on the scaling principle to go for more and more performant models with a larger number set of parameters, such increasing the cost. But it is not necessarily true. As maturity and usage of LLMs have grown, we've reached a point where smaller to medium models have the ability to resonate or to execute complex tasks, more specified tasks. All right, so now we are doubling down on agents. So for Gartner, the estimate is by 2028, over a third of the enterprise application will introduce Gen AI capabilities or use agentic AIs. And more importantly, among all these applications, over 15% of the day-to-day decisions will be fully automated thanks to Gen AI. This is not necessarily just a vision. This is already started to happen now. And that's what I want to introduce on stage His Excellency Saleh to talk about DGE and about its vision.
Thanks, Paul. Oops. Assalamu alaikum. So I think Paul's done a really good job of introducing the opportunity and where the space that we're in is. I'm Saleh Hamid. I'm the Executive Director for Government Cloud and Infrastructure Operations with the Department of Government Enablement in Abu Dhabi. And before I set the context and then bring back Paul to show the solution, how many people here have heard of the Department of Government Enablement in Abu Dhabi? Yes, all my friends at the front. Excellent. Okay, guys at the back have not. Okay, great. So what is the Department of Government Enablement? Slides. Great. So we're let's say the digital arm of Abu Dhabi government that's been tasked and challenged with setting up an AI native government by 2027. We're like the incubator, the implementer, the accelerator. We work with all of the different members of the government, all the different entities within Abu Dhabi government, and we find ways to do things better. That's basically it. How do we serve people better? How do we eliminate bureaucracy? How do we speed things up? How do we deliver more value? How do we delight our customers? Another question, does anyone know what TEM is? People who know TEM, put your hand up. Great. Same guys at the front, guys at the back, no TEM. Okay, yes, thank you. Great. So TEM is one of our products. TEM is government in your pocket. So in Abu Dhabi, all of the citizens can access all of the government's services, whether it's registering a car or buying a house or anything. You can all do it from your phone. And we're continuously evolving it. We integrated AI into it with TEM version 3, and TEM version 4 will be a continuation of that with more agentic frameworks. So that's the DG, Department of Government Enablement. This is our vision towards the government of the future. We think that through the work that we're doing, we can serve as a template and an example for how you can really benefit from digital and AI solutions to improve the citizen's life. Our mission, to enable those exceptional experiences through innovative services and solutions. We have 6 values that I really like. I really like the way that the DGE tries to innovate in everything, and even in terms of values, we try to make them more action-oriented. So for example, earn it every day. This is a very important part of what we do. We expect everyone to be really focused every day on delivering increasing value. Dream big, but deliver bigger. We have this, the native AI native government is pretty much being drafted now. It's a term that I think we coined, and we're dreaming very big, and we hope to deliver even bigger for the people of Abu Dhabi. Stronger together, we work with our ecosystem, we work with our partners, which is, today is one of those, an event that demonstrates that, and as Paul comes and he explains a bit more, he'll tell you how we've done that together. We embrace innovation, we embrace partnership, we embrace collaboration, an open working environment. walk in their shoes. Obviously, this is about empathizing. And again, with this particular project that we worked on with AWS, you'll see that there is this empathetic view. How do we use technology to make the people who work in the government's life easier? Always evolving. Again, living our values, you'll see it today. And unlocking potential. And I'm sure when Paul comes to show you what we've built together, you'll see that those values are being demonstrated effectively. So what do I do in cloud? So now, okay, so that's the DGE. I'm the cloud guy. Our job is to move everybody onto the cloud. We have a target by 2027, as well as being AI native, is that we have everybody on the cloud. Obviously, the cloud brings with it a lot of opportunities. It is a pivot. It is a fulcrum around which your digital transformation and your now AI transformation will be tremendously supported by. It is a force multiplier. So let me talk about, this is more of our vision, the 100% adoption. But let's get to the engagement with AWS. So moving everyone to the cloud across 50-odd different government entities is going to take a lot of effort. It is complex. There is a lot of different setups, different applications, different stacks, all across the government. And we're going to have to bring all these guys onto a central cloud. And we'll do that. We're going to support them. The Government of Digital, the Department of the Department of Government Enablement is going to help them with that, the DGE. But we wanted to go a step further. We developed a policy, and we were going to share the policy to give people guidelines. Here's a document. Why don't you go read it? Follow these steps. And then we thought, is there a way to make that help more engaging? Is there a way to use AI to make this document come to life? So we reached out to our ecosystem. We spoke to many different partners, and we gave them the idea. We said, this is a policy document. It's going to help people move to the cloud. We want it to be a little bit smarter. Can we do something with AI? Is it possible? Is there a way to make it come to life? And then the quick anecdote. We gave this task, me and my team were sitting at the front, Khola and Russia, we've been working on this, Khola leading it. We gave this challenge to several different organizations. I won't name the other ones. And we said, go away and come back and give us your pitch. And all four, including AWS, first time round, it was the first time round, came back and after a prolonged period of time, and they didn't get it. This is okay. We're pushing the frontier here. This innovation has to embrace that we're still kind of coalescing ideas together. So we restated the challenge once again. And I think the second time we restated the challenge, we were clearer in what we were asking for. I think the first time we asked, we didn't understand how the market was going to react. But after they reacted, we saw that there was static, there was noise in the communication. We simplified it, made it very straightforward. And within 2 days, AWS had come back and said, we have a POC for you. And we were like, you sure? You've only had 2 days. Are you sure you can do this? And they came in, they walked in, and they said, yeah, look, we brought in Paul, the AI genius over here. And Paul walked in, and this is the bit I tell everybody. As soon as he walked in, I said, I believe that this guy knows what he's talking about. He hadn't spoken yet. But he just came in, I was like, he looks like he's an AI guy. He sat down, and he presented, and we were blown away. And not only had they taken a little bit of our idea, but then they came back with, and why don't you think about maybe adding this and that? And then the co-creation started to happen. And then we got into that flow, that vibe. We started to really see eye to eye on this. And then they ended up with developing something that I think, when you see it, you'll see it's really powerful. And yeah, I don't want to take any more time because I want him to show you what he's done. So thank you very much, and I'll be hanging around.
Thank you.
Good luck.
Thank you. All right. Thank you very much for those kind words. I really appreciate. So this leads us to the use case, so the Cloud Migration Assistant. So let me give you a little bit of description of the key features of such an assistant that we have built for DGE. So the key mandate for this assistant is to have a smart conversational interface. So the purpose is that all the different entities and all the different, let's say, architects and workers within the different entities will be able to tap on this solution and converse and use natural language in order to answer their question, answer their query, or even execute some task. So the idea was to build this assistant all around DG internal guidelines and policy. So this smart assistant has for main purpose to be able to identify all the gaps in any proposed architecture or any proposed migration plan to see if those migration plan or this architecture is against any guidelines or any policies by DG. And then more importantly, not only identifying the gaps, but has the ability to propose solution, to propose on how to fix those gaps. Obviously, also by design and because of the nature of DGE, this solution is not only geared toward AWS cloud architecture, but it's multi-cloud. So as for now, we are covering AWS cloud and also Azure cloud in our, let's say, architecture analysis and best practices. Also, within this solution, we created different features, such as, for instance, cost estimation, in order to provide clear view on the cost for whatever proposed architecture is being given, but also in order to streamline cost efficiency and cost optimization. All the more, we added also a feature more, how can I say, close to the heart of the solutions architect, which is, for instance, architecture diagram analysis and architecture diagram generation. So how does it work and how this solution has been designed behind the scene? It's fairly simple. So everything starts with one single agent. This agent that we will call the orchestrator is the single point of entry for all users' queries. When the orchestrator receives a query from the users, it will plan. It will create a plan, and then it will order the different, let's say, sub-agents or specialist agents in order to collaborate between themselves in order to execute this complex plan or a complex workflow. So as you can see, each of the specialist agents will have, how can I say, a dedicated area of specialty. For instance, it can be guideline and policies check. It can be cost optimization and cost estimation. It can be also, for instance, architecture diagram understanding and generation. So each of those specialists will have a dedicated task. And then obviously, underneath all of those specialists, you will have a set of tools and a set of knowledge that all these different agents will be able to leverage in order to execute whatever has been asked to them. So you would have, for instance, knowledge retriever, basically where you will be able to ingest all the documents related, for instance, to policies, best practice, guidelines, and so on. You will have, for instance, the ability to execute API calls in order to leverage, for instance, cost estimation APIs from the different platforms, and so on. So the expected outcomes. So the expected outcome for such a solutions are mostly geared toward, obviously, process efficiency, gain of time with, for instance, 40 to 60% reduction in terms of development time for the architects to be able to provide a migration plan, 50% faster migration timelines, and also, how can I say, from very design and from every proposal that comes from this solution, continuous compliance. Continuous compliance in an environment where policies and security standards keeps evolving. All right. Now that we gave a very high-level description of the solution, I would like to spend a little bit more time on how this solution is being powered by AWS. What are the different, let's say, services that help bring down the barrier and facilitate, how can I say, the adoption of Gen AI, and more importantly, agentic AI, to build such a solution in such a short time. So what is at the very foundation of such intelligent systems are the different models that are powering those agents. And the beauty of Amazon Bedrock is that you have the choice of a very wide variety of models. You will have different models for different, let's say, use case, be it content generation, such as images or video, or you have, for instance, also the thinking models, such as DeepSeek R1, or again, Anthropic Claude 3.7. And the idea around it is that you have the choice to also give for each agent a dedicated model. And then thus, you will be able to optimize the cost efficiency of your overall solution. You're not, how can I say, tied to a single model across all your solution or across all your application. And also, in the end, we want to highlight the fact that we provide also access to open source models, such as, for instance, Mistral and Llama. And on top of it, obviously, all the frontier models coming from Amazon, such as Amazon Nova and Anthropic Cloud. So what I want to highlight and what I want to give the focus on is that Bedrock is not only a platform for just invoking and consuming models. It's a platform for builders. And more importantly, it's a platform to build GenAI applications. So that's why you will see different set of tools or different set of functionalities within Bedrock that help you to build very quickly and very quickly and very, how can I say, in a scalable fashion, your application. So you will have, for instance, Amazon Bedrock agents that helps you build very quickly serverless agents. You would have, for instance, also the ability to leverage a knowledge base, for instance, which allows you to create RAG solution on a few clicks. All right. Now, let me go very quickly on Amazon Bedrock agents. Why we say that it is very easy to build agents on Bedrock. So on Bedrock, you only need 4 types of components in order to design an agent. First, obviously, the model choice. As said earlier, you can assign very specific models to each of your different agents. You are not constrained to use a single model for all your different agents. Then you will provide just a set of basic instructions in natural language. So no code required for this set of instruction. And then you need to connect the different, let's say, data sources. For instance, if you want your agent to leverage a knowledge base, for instance, it is possible to connect directly knowledge base, Amazon knowledge base, to your agent to perform RAG. Same, you will be able to perform natively text-to-SQL also on structured data, thanks to knowledge base over structured data. And then more importantly, you will be able to connect the last component, the action component, through AWS Lambda, for instance. If you need, for instance, to interact with other services, or if you need to do or perform any type of API call. All right. So now that we've seen what is an agent and how it is easy to build an agent, now we just have to introduce the multi-agent collaboration concept. So it's natively integrated within Amazon Bedrock, and you will be, as we design in our solution, you will be able to design one single agent with an orchestration flow that has the ability to tap and connect to different sub-agents. As simple as this. You just need to connect and give a description of all the different agents and how to interact with each other. So that will open up, obviously, the field of possibilities where you can now have very complex systems that are not necessarily specialized in a single task, but have the ability to perform and to be more autonomous. All right. So these slides, I don't want just to talk necessarily on MCP, but what I want to show is the AWS commitment on those type of protocol. We fully embrace those open source protocol. We want to, how can I say, embed them naturally and natively in our services. And all the more, I want to say that AWS want to help and shape the agentic AI vision for those open source protocol. So as per recently, AWS has just joined very recently the MCP steering committee, just to show our commitment to contribute in the field. And this is fully aligned with our vision. So AWS vision is to provide the best place to build and to deploy the most trusted and the most performant agents in the world. All right. So we also want to share a few accessible resources through QR codes if you want to reach, for instance, to know more a little bit about Bedrock. And for the builders, if you want to get your hands a little bit dirty and play around with our services, we provide code samples on GitHub, which can help you bootstrap very quickly on our services. All right. Thank you. So we invite you to leave a little bit of feedbacks using the large QR codes. You will be prompted to evaluate and leave some feedbacks. And oops, all right. And then we invite you also to stick around for the next session with our CTO and Vice President, Dr. Werner. Thank you.